Get up and get out. Get out. Get out.
I have a question for you.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it. You say Christ is Lord. Get out. Get out. Christ is Lord.
Apologize for being like a couple minutes late. The whole goal today was to start multi-streaming on Kick, and it like literally crashed out my OBS. So we're just on YouTube, unfortunately. Maybe I can get it to turn on. Who knows? I guess I'm gonna have to play with it. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. It's supposed to be a cozy crash shot. I'm like actually maybe the most mad I've been in like months figuring this out, because I spent all day today adding some new stuff to the stream, and this actually just kind of pissed me off. So I guess I'll figure it out. I was gonna just attempt to switch over to the multi-stream, try to do that, and I added some extra features as well too. You're probably gonna see this happening. Yeah, actually crashing out, literally, literally, literally me actually crashing out. And it was like doing a weird thing where like when I tried doing the Kick one, it was like not going to the correct YouTube broadcast. It wanted to like generate some random BS. Yeah, let's go back to using pigeons. You can see my ears are getting red too. I was actually getting super irritated. But it looks like it's working on YouTube's end so far. I wanted to bring some stuff to Kick to see how it would look, and I guess it's just not going to be today. So I'll figure it out. We'll work on it. And part of that is just because there's a general kind of theme across the board, if you guys haven't been noticing this. But I've been seeing a lot from Raymond, the Thoughts and Minds, and many other people. But it's this concept that for whatever reason, whether it's seasonal or or maybe just the change in the YouTube algorithm, there's been like a huge drop off for like a lot of views on like just regular videos. It's not hitting everybody, but it is hitting some people. And I agree with Raymond. I think it's streaming right now is just the way to go. It's the way to what I'm going to put my time into, especially for my channel. He's been hit with the similar stuff too, and I was like, well, we'll make this a bit better with the Kick, we'll put it up on Kick. And so what you guys are going to see too as well. This thing right here. This is now going to be on auto select, hands-free. Hands-free, it's beautiful. I actually don't have to worry about pressing any buttons at all. But it will be hands-free, and it's going to auto select on members and super chats. So super chats, not only would auto select on super chats, but it's also going to, what's the word? TTS as well. I picked up a couple things from Tyler Russell. I was watching him earlier today. I watched him for like the majority of the stream. And it was funny because I was like halfway paying attention while I was doing other stuff. And all of a sudden I hear myself, and I'm like, why do I hear myself right now? And I'm like, I know that. I was like the video, and I look up and it's like, no joke, it's me. And I'll throw some people in on some tips and tricks. They were wondering how I have the Tenryo tech, the way my hat sits on my head. Here's the trick. Here's the trick. You just have a fat head. If you have a fat head, the hat actually sits higher. It's like, no, it's not that the hat is floating. It's that I have such a super big head. And I thought that was kind of funny. They were asking, what was going on with that. So I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, it's going to be chill today. We're just going to kind of honestly hang out, to be honest. There's a couple of things I want to cover in the news today, although today's seemingly been more of the same. We didn't get much of a kind of super extreme crash out from Casey, if you will. Although there's been some stuff that's happened today so far that's been a little eye-opening to maybe a bit more of the inside of his campaign. I think one big thing that really kind of stuck out to me today, and I saw this from Tyler Russell, he covered it before I actually got a hold of my timeline anywhere, was the fact that Richard Spencer got into a bit of a back and forth with Beardson. over some of the involvement of Nick and the movement in general. So we'll take a look at some of that stuff as well. And I think right now, though, the conversation's kind of moved away from Casey. I think one of the weirder things that I saw through the majority of even some of the lesser knowns, but through all of the discourse that was happening last night, we kind of went from the crash out, everybody burning out, raging over what happened, as it was still kind of going on and on and on. When we got to the tail end of it, people like the mega hole, Lucky Teeter, some of these, they're Nick A-loggers, but some of them largely are like these pro-Trump glazers. And they also were like in agreement with Nick. Not in agreement with Nick on the principle of why Nick opposed Casey, although was agreement across the board of some of them being, they both agreed Casey was unserious. But when Nick said it was unserious, he said very specifically like unserious for X, Y, and Z. The other side of the aisle was saying, oh, it's a good thing Casey lost because how dare you ever say anything negative about Trump? I'm not even joking you. And I can't remember which one it was. Either the Mega Hulk or Lucky Teeter, one of the two. I confuse them all the time because they both use like anonymous photos. There's another one in that group too, Matt Forney. Kind of like all three of these guys are kind of like in the space, pro-Trump glazers, counter signalers, subversives, really subversives, forgive me. What's up, Zeb? Nice to see you, brother. And it was just the funniest thing that they agree. They're both like, we agree Casey shouldn't have won, but they agree because they still remember the time when Casey posted a photo of him burning his MAGA flag and calling Trump a pedo and all of that. And then Nick's just glad because he just, because Casey got personal with him. And so it's just two different reasons. So I thought that was kind of funny to see that back and forth there. And, seeing where they agree only very, 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 very specifically and for completely different reasons. But I do think that where we are now, though, is in the arena of really laying the argument out of why Vivek can't win. And this isn't an argument of why Amy Acton needs to win. It's more of an argument of why Vivek needs to lose. And so, let me get rid of my glasses a little bit. I know it's kind of probably bothering people with the reflection. But the main point of that is this kind of concept of what will Vivek do in the long term? Like, what happens to the GOP if you allow Vivek's idea of American conservatism, Americanism? What if you allow Vivek to dictate that? And then it also poses this idea, and I think Nick was spot on, which is if Vivek wins this, he wins the governorship, and he essentially is birthed into national politics forever at this point. You guys hear that? I think I need to do this one. It did the TTS. Sorry. You guys probably couldn't hear it. Let me turn this up a little bit. I think it would be this one, the audio capture. But thank you. Oh, Tix, you did hear it? I don't know where it would have been coming out of. It made a ding. Not a TTS though. Interesting. I wonder if it's. Let me actually fix this real quick because I think it's going to be on here. I think it's this one. Well, if somebody sends another super chat, maybe we'll catch it. Maybe we will catch it. Okay, so I added an audio capture for that specific browser source, so this should work this time. But I'll go back to it. Michael Crawford says, "Hold on, brother, don't stream yet. I'm getting my opinions from Steven Crowder." Oh man, that's enough to make you want to go jump off a bridge. But the concept though is if Vivek walks into office, he is birthed onto the scene. It's gonna work now? No. Is it not? It's not working at all? Okay, well, I do appreciate the test. Thank you. Dang, that sucked. Okay. No, I did not. And no, I did not bait. Only dings. I'll have to figure that out then. That's gonna have to be another thing I'll have to put on the list to figure it out. Let me actually, what I can do in the meantime is I'll remove this actually. Remove what I just did and send it back to where I had it. See, see, it's chill today. It's all chill, dude. We're all chilling. Okay, now I'm going to boost the audio capture back up. So the next one should do.
Zeb Boykin has donated $4.99 and says, I want a refund.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. So it worked on that one. We got it to work. I know you guys heard that one. I watched the audio about. That's funny. Okay, it's working now. That's cool. So yeah, so if you're a member, and if you super chat, your chats will automatically feature on here. That way I don't have to worry about it as much. And also on that way I don't like miss them. Although I think if I get like they're back to back, it might cut somebody off. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Trying to find more cool things to add to the stream. I changed this as well, made it a little bit better, but the kick literally makes no sense. Now the whole stream doesn't make any sense. You know, I'm doing the 6-7 meme with the kick in YouTube. And no, actually, sorry. Multi-streaming is broken for some reason. Thanks, YouTube. I appreciate it. Anyways, to get back to the main point, though, it is this kind of concept. And we saw it a bit from Tate Brown. And I think, was it really just Tate Brown? I think Tate Brown might have commented on this. We'll pull this up. We'll go right to this. We're going to do a lot of reacting today. So let me grab this. But it should be
Smelly Balls right has donated.
He says, they might have cut off. I apologize. Let me boost this one. I have a couple of different audio captures, but I'll put that one back up.
Smelly Balls has donated $2 and says, my name is Stephen Hawking. I'm a phony.
The inception. So you see the stream preview over here is just like nothing. There's just nothing over here now. I know, so I wasn't even paying attention to what's on stream. And it's just like busted. It's like I've been streaming for way longer than 2 minutes. I don't know what it's doing over here. Yeah. As long as I'm offline. It's not like some busted whatever. But no, I just want to go here because I wanted to pull it up for you guys over here. So even Tate Brown, so this is what I was kind of a little bit of surprised of. Everybody says, oh God, my eyes help me. And I was surprised by this. But Tate Brown actually agrees with this kind of broader concept. And I think a lot of the people actually will agree on this idea that Vivek does need to lose for multiple reasons. And the biggest of those is Quarter Pounder probably flagged me. That's funny. But the reason of those is because we can't allow the GOP to take another step. Like what Vivek represents essentially in all ostensibly is he's the next step of redefining under this kind of big tent, gay, homosexual banner of conservatism that citizenship, there's no two tiers of citizenship. And, you know, Tucker Carlson is as much of a U.S. citizen as that lady who I just signed the paperwork for when she came here from Honduras a couple of days ago. That's kind of like what stands to really get watered down with Vivek winning the governorship there in Ohio. Now, I even think if he does win, regardless, I think he's still going to get that pushback. People are still going to push on him, pressure him. But the reality is, if he wins the governorship, he basically cements a foothold into politics, in national politics at that. He loses the governor race after losing and kind of being sent home in 24. Then now you're on a pathway where perhaps he doesn't chase politics anymore. Perhaps he goes into a role where he's just doing analytics. He's just out here and he's just like, I'm a former Republican Vivek Ramaswamy. Like, what do you have to say? Maybe he starts his own show. Maybe he joins Jeremy Boring, and then those two scammers can sit with each other and talk about how much Nick is a Nazi or something like that. And that would be the best case scenario. Would be for him to exit center right, leave the stage, and have him just disappear ultimately forever. Not like in a, not like he literally gets disappeared, but that his presence leaves, and it's kind of a resounding defeat of America rejected Vivek Ramaswamy's idea of what it is to be an American. No, I'm not. I'm not an Albanian. As far as I know, I'm not. I think I'm not Albanian, but I am Albanian, and I am Mexican, and I am I'm some level of black. That's the one that really bothers me. But French and I think Spanish, all of it, literally all of it. Zeb says, I'm building an anti-net coalition. Would you like to join Atlas? No, I'm going to have to meet you. The real question is, who's going to have the red saber? Who has the red saber? Is it me or Zeb? Who ends up with the red saber? Who's the bad guy? Right, that needs to be solved, I like the Obi-Wan reference from Real APAC, because that means, like, I have the high ground. Don't tempt it. Yeah, but I'll go and let Tate kind of give his opinion here. We'll see if he says anything else kind of dumb. I'm like, I really don't have a high opinion of Tate at all, truthfully. And I think if anything, he's really kind of a stand-in, a fill-in. And if anything, he's everything that Ray Temple wishes that Adam Krigler was, initially. Probably not even a fair reference, to be honest with you. But I do think Tate Brown fulfills that kind of Matt Walsh role. And Zeb says false dichotomy. That's funny. Zeb says I'm going to save the grapers from themselves. Hey, that's better rhetoric. I think that maybe that sounds better. But here's this.
Vivek was a terrible political candidate. He might be one of the worst politicians in America. I can't play the clip, obviously, because of no audio, but he was literally debating with this guy in Ohio. Ohio is still a heavily evangelical state. That's definitely the base of the Republican Party, certainly in Ohio, are evangelicals. And he's debating this like well-to-do evangelical gentleman who I think most Republicans would sort of view familiar. He would be familiar to them. This is like your uncle, your grandfather, etc. And Vivek is like lecturing him on Hinduism. He's saying, Jesus is not the Son of God, but he's a way to heaven. It's this polytheistic nonsense that is completely foreign to the United States. This is like beyond deism. This is just bizarre. And he says, no, Jesus is a God, but he's not the Son of God. If you're engaging in theological debates with your voters, you're cooked. And I think Amy Acton's going to win. Casey Putsch had a chance here to dethrone Ramaswamy. And
that was kind of funny. That's kind of funny. When you're engaging in theological debates with your voters, you're probably gonna lose. I like that. That was pretty funny. Yeah. And I want to remind people, like, when I had a friend reach out to me, because I guess, my friends nowadays, they kind of look at me like, maybe he does know a little bit about what's going on in politics. So I think I told a little bit of the story yesterday, but he reached out to me and he basically asked, he was like, give me any reason to not have to vote for Vivek. And the reason why he felt like he was pressed back into voting for Vivek was because, like, the Ohio Right to Life PAC endorsed Vivek. And so for my friend, one of his big issues is abortion. I sent him that video that Tate was just covering there. And he was like, okay, good enough for me, dude. All I needed to see, not voting for that guy. That was kind of funny. And, maybe Tate, maybe I'm being a little too harsh on Tate. But so goes it. I guess you do get judged by who you're associated with. Yeah, make sure you definitely step those numbers up. Only 15 likes. Okay, now we got 19. There we go. Now we're pushing. Now we're hee-hawing around. Yeehaw, buddy. But okay.
Couldn't keep frame, and that's primarily why he lost. You can disagree with, the voters or whatever, but it's just the reality. It's how politics works. I'm sorry, but if you're not going to be serious, running for political office, if you're just going to posture to your Twitter audience or posture to your Rumble audience, you're not going to go anywhere. Sorry, that's just the reality on the ground. That's not how politics works. If you want to participate in politics, you got to be serious. People want serious leaders. It is what it is. Ohio governor, here's the polling. Ramaswamy's going to lose. I predict that he's going to lose. I think he's going to lose. I am not going to throw my support behind him. His lieutenant governor candidate seems to be decent. I might tactically support him. I think that would be quite useful because you vote on them separately. It's not a ticket. But Ramaswamy, he doesn't like me. You know, he was dragging people that are appealing to the idea that America is a nation, which, by the way, the vice president believes. So, no, sorry, no. You're not getting my support. Utterly ridiculous. I'm not going to support the Democrat either, but it is...
It's kind of support by not showing up. I mean, if anything, it's more so just like letting the winds blow where they may. But I think this is why I would take the pro approach of like why you should vote for Amy. How about like don't leave it up for chance. Ensure that Vivek loses. Because if you on the margins, the 5% of the Republicans can switch over and they say, well, we didn't get Casey, well, we're definitely not taking Vivek. And then you slam it down for Amy Acton. I mean, it's almost going to kind of guarantee it. And I think if anything, the polling markets aren't predicting that. I mean, like what kind of mechanism do they have to even attempt to predict something on that level? Perhaps they can find some kind of predictive analysis to it. And I do agree with the polls, especially for Ohio. That one was a weird one because Bernie Moreno, if you would have asked me here in Ohio, I mean, Bernie Moreno was all over the place. It was like you couldn't really go a couple of steps without seeing Bernie Moreno. And it really took off because he did get the Trump endorsement, I think, towards the end of his campaign. He was all over the place. I mean, it was like billboard here, billboard on 33, billboard across the way on 270, Bernie. And he had a bit of a slogan that he used pretty often too. It's like something Moreno. It rhymed or something to that effect too. But I agree. I mean, I agree. This is why I will be voting for Amy Acton. You can't reward Vivek. I mean, that's just simply can't be what we do at all. I've been seeing some of these other like dissident accounts, like Battle Beagles and some of these other guys who I don't think they would classify themselves as groypers. I don't think they're groypers, but they're in the dissident right. More right wing than what's in office right now. And I've been seeing some conversations from them, and they're all like, "I'm sorry, like I can't vote for Vivek." I think somebody even had quoted, and it was JD Vance. That's who I was thinking of. JD Vance issued a support for Vivek, which makes sense. But many people were quoting that and saying, like, "I'm sorry, like this is just like a bridge too far. Like, you guys can do that." What was he say? Like, Battle Beagle said something to the effect of, "I'll let the usual paid and slop influencers handle that. I'm sorry, I can't do it." So, Vivek doesn't even have support from all the people who have like, unwillingly kind of like walk down the way, just like to toss it in. And Zeb says, "Bro, at least just set the governor race out, voting Acton." Actually, yeah. I mean, this is wholeheartedly. When the Democrat woman is running ads that's showcasing how Vivek is talking shit about Americans, I mean, why would I not vote for her? I mean, obviously with the COVID stuff is entirely insane, and she's an insanely nut woman, right? She's a Jewish woman, absolute nut job, especially on a lot of the COVID stuff. But I'm like, I mean, like, what's worse, right? 4 years of Amy Acton. I mean, I think Nick was spot on. 4 years of Amy Acton, who is like what we've kind of come to expect. She might be have a little bit more nuts and bolts loose than the typical Democrat. But this idea of allowing Vivek to win the governorship and solidifying himself for perhaps the next 10, 15, 20 years into American politics. And then, I mean, like what? Then we're going to have Vivek run for president too? I mean, like that'll be like ultimately what's down the road of that. And he already did. I mean, he pulled 8%. I don't think he would get the same kind of riveting energy the second time around, but he clearly has a base of people who are willing to support him. And I think if anything, you give him time as the governor, he will be able to massage back some of like what happened that caused a lot of his momentum to be lost. You allow him to be governor, you allow him to get, wins per se. He will build himself back into the good graces of American politics. And I think that if you have the chance to cut him at the knees and ensure that he has a no ramp, I mean, if you lose, you walk away from the presidency, you lose the governorship, where do you go? And somebody says, so active stance on data centers is more transparency. What does that mean? There's no transparency on the data centers. The data centers are literally a cancer to our society. and they're going to be a cancer to the state. They're they're insane on the electrical consumption. They're a huge stressor on the electrical grid. Pretty much every state they've gone into has it's increased the electrical costs, so electrical bills. You have the water consumption element because it's basically like a massive supercomputer. That's what these AI data centers are, and so they still need a bunch of water, and so there's a lot of other these elements here too. These data centers are just like literal cancer. And if you guys remember when the Tea Party movement was a thing, one of the biggest items the Tea Party movement opposed, it was in the Obama era. And this was during this, I think it was the first term of Obama. It might have been the second, but I believe it was the first term of Obama. And you guys, I would imagine many of you remember this. This was the initial huge wind turbine push. Like massive, like there was wind turbines everywhere. They were promising people like free electricity. They're going to get buybacks on this. The costs will go down, and no one got any free electricity. And all everybody got was a bunch of like destroyed property value. Farmland was all like had to be pushed around and moved around. It was like re-adjudicated. They were cutting it up. Farmers were selling stuff left and right because of the way that these turbines are like affecting, some of the animals, but as well as just like these, just like ugly kind of things to look at. They ultimately weren't too loud, but they did drive down property costs all over the place. And that was like maybe a bit on the minor element. And there was, you could say there was some level of benefit could be given back to the community because there was some way that they were doing these very specific like buyback programs. You guys maybe have been approached by somebody similar, like from a solar panel, like with the solar panel companies, where they'll give you a solar panel for free. You just have to like earn the energy on it first, and then ultimately they end up kind of like breaking even. You don't get much benefit out of it. With the data centers, it's like they're consuming the environment, and also you don't get anything for it. You just get to, as Vivek and many other people have said, you just get to feel good that Ohio was one of the first ones that did it. And that's kind of the argument that's coming from Vivek on the data centers. They talk about how Ohio. What was the last thing he said? I'm gonna have to find this clip. But it was like one of the last things he said, like his pro argument for it is, well, we don't want to be the state that just, we just let it pass us by. We let Texas get data centers and we let Florida get data centers, but why not us? It's like, I don't want data centers. I literally don't want data centers. Let me find this. Because the pro arguments on him are so bad. Casey, I sent this video to my friend too from Casey. This is one of his best thing being against these data centers. Are you kidding me? Vivek Data Center, and I have 2 posts from Casey first. He has spoken on this many times. Okay. That's crazy. Am I blocked or something? He was putting out a bunch of stuff earlier. And then look at this. We're fully behind the farmers of our state, but I'm also bringing in data centers. This guy. It's one of these, I'm pretty sure. This is all his primary talk, his primary celebration, it looks like. I don't want to watch any of that. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. American dream in Ohio, yada, yada, yada. Bullshit, empty rhetoric. Ah, mental health epidemic. That's crazy, man. That's breaking news at 5. People are mentally ill. That's crazy, dude. Did you go outside for the first time? Oh my gosh, dude. That's it, dude. They're gonna make me have to search it on his profile. But you know how these people are, because sometimes they don't put like their actual, like what they're talking about in the captions. I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember the video from memory. Is this it? This might be one of them. This might be one of them right here. Let's take a listen. Okay, hope this isn't too loud. One thing I'm going to do real quick, actually, is because I want my TTS to work, I'm going to change the window capture. Audio output capture is back. I need to put a limiter on it a little bit so it doesn't get ever too loud. This should be fine. Okay.
I'm going to tell you, this is top of my mind as your next governor. is we face a real risk that our electric grid in this state isn't ready for what's actually coming. Right now, electricity costs have already doubled over the course of the last 10 years. They're about to quadruple over the next 10 years and face rolling power outages in our state like they have in California unless we do something about it. We've got AI data centers moving to our state. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. I want the sectors of the future to come here. But that will make a level of demand on our electric grid of a kind that we have not seen in the history of our state, coming at exactly the time, and you here in Jefferson County understand this, right at a time when we've also cut off and reduced the supply of baseload power generation. Shutting down coal plants that on my watch would have remained open, I'll promise you that. And the few that still remain open aren't going to shutter on my watch. I'm going to tell you, this is...
And so, I mean, like, what... Did you hear it again? Like, there's no, like, real kind of, like, strong thing to hang on to about the data centers. He can acknowledge and explain. So there's going to be this really bad problem how the electrical grid is already being strained, and we're seeing that across the country. And we're also about to get data centers, which really strain the electrical grid. But we need to have data centers because, like, why wouldn't we want to bring the future technology to us? Anyways, these things are going to be really rough to handle. It's like... that really doesn't sell me on anything. It's just, again, it's just like we want to be part of the future. We want the cool big thing, the cool next big thing. It's so empty. I mean, it's extremely empty. It's just wild that this is the only video I've even found of him, too. That's from 2025. That's from last year. We have, there's more videos, bro. I know there is, and Vivek can't scam me that well, dude. You're going to have to earn it from me. You have to earn this scam.
I know what I can deliver by this time next year is we're going to have
lower. Let's just take a look at
Cincinnati
these.
public schools.
Public schools.
And I would like to welcome you to Anderson.
No, I don't care. Data centers.
I want to just make sure that we understand.
That's crazy. Okay, so let's go. I know he talked about it back at this other event before this one. It was this one, I do believe. The Turning Point event. Let me find it. Right. Okay. This is actually a good one. I'll stop here. This is not going to be off the data centers, but this is why he can't win the governor. It's this redefining of what it is to be an American. This is why Vivek can't win. This cannot be given a long-term life. This cannot be allowed to be given a long-term chain to be allowed to exist. We rejected it. It must be rejected and needs to be resoundingly rejected. So much so that Americans would cross the aisle and vote for a woman because it meant that much to them to send a message to Vivek and any foreigner from here thereafter who thinks they can define American citizenship as an idea or a piece of paper. No. Just take a listen. Listen to what he thinks, being an American is.
Neither 1619 nor 1620 was actually the year that defined America. It was 1776, the year of the Declaration of Independence. So what does it mean to be an American in the year 2026? It means we still believe in those ideals of 1776. It means we believe that all men are created equal. It means that we believe that our rights are given to us by God, not by our government. It means that we, the people, create a government that is accountable to us rather than the other way around. It means that our elected representatives ought to be the ones writing the laws that bind us, not unelected bureaucrats. It means we believe in merit, that the best person gets the job regardless of their skin color. It means that you ought to be judged not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your contributions. It means we believe in the rule of law, so long as those laws are legitimately adopted. And
it's just it's so empty. The rhetoric of it is so empty. It is, it's exactly what people have been saying. It's more lessons from Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, but watered down and irrespective of quite literally everything else going on. And the reason why is I'm finding the AI data center one. Let me turn these down. Let me turn down a little bit, I guess. Get this one.
That is what makes the American
dream, Chinese dream. Who cares?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
He lived the American dream. It's one of these.
By the end of 2027, high-paying jobs will be moving back to Ohio because.
No, maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I saw it in a longer form stream and I'm just never going to find it again. But this is the one. This is the one where he really sat here and says, you know, the number one factor is you. It's pick yourself up by the bootstraps. It's not the patriarchy. It's not the Jews. It's not the Muslims. It's not the billionaires. It's not foreigners. It's not white people. It's not black people. It's nothing. It's none of that. None of that matters, actually. It's only because you don't try hard enough. That's it. That's all. And so therein you realize it's like, dude, oh my gosh. That's like the 4,000 IQ move. It's like Vivek is so right. The boomers are so right. Everything happening to us and going on right now, it's all completely our fault. And then I'm like, oh, dude, now it makes so much sense. Like, dude, it is my fault that we changed all of the immigration laws. Dude, that's so right. That's so completely right. Like, oh my gosh, like, wow. 10,000 IQ play, dude, like, round of applause, everybody. Congratulations. But it's nonsense. I just really wanted to cover the AI data centers just to show you he's got no strong pro argument for it. But again, you could probably find that another time, another day. But that was really the major thing, was just this idea of, we just want to be a part of the future. It means what exactly? Like, what does that mean? What are we getting out of it? Beyond like probably selling more, you know, personal data, disrupting more environmental elements that, you know, ultimately probably do matter. And somebody said it the other day, it was like the right-wing coalition. Right-wing coalition pointed out that no one's talking about climate change anymore. He's like, do you think, or no, that's what he said. And my thought was like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You know, like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know, typically it's like, it's nonsensical. They're going to push it. They're going to scream at it, but it just disappears. It's like, wait a minute. Does that mean there is something? You know, is there something? Like, interesting. Interesting. What's up, Donor? I've seen him in a minute. He says, bro, I was beating myself up for not living up to the financial place I thought I'd be in because of the boomer mindset. Oh, when it disappeared. He said, I grind so much just to be enslaved to student loans and high housing costs. Right. Right. And I mean, this is why a lot of people are on, you know, very similar boat. And I think for a lot of people, that's why you see so many of these other gig jobs like taking off like crazy. You see so many people unwilling to see any benefit really in attaching themselves to any kind of long-term commitment with the company. Especially when you already have the example of COVID. I mean, how many people do we watch basically get like get cut at the knees at their job they've been at for like 10 years or 12 years or whatever? You know, they tell you, you know, you weren't an essential worker. We can't come back. You know, you lose your job forever because you didn't get the vaccine. Or we are going to make you get the vaccine. And now those people are like living in anxiety, waiting for at some point soon. They're going to go. I think I saw a tweet from Sam Hyde. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but I saw a tweet from Sam Hyde. And he was like, I want you to know if you got the vaccine, he was like, you are going to not be here in a couple of years. He's like, I will say that again. He was like, if you did. And so he's like, he's pushing this like crazy. And it is kind of, you got to think about that on the other way around. Those who didn't get it are feeling like free, you know, like liberated, like, oh my gosh, so glad I didn't. But the other way around, it's like the people who did get it and are still with us, it's like, they probably do think like, at any moment, dude, like any moment, something might pop off. You know, there probably is a bit more of anxiety to that. But again, don't have to worry about it because I don't listen to the government. And I don't know if it says, yeah, dude, I'm on my 4th job since grad school. I have no job loyalty. I'll go wherever the pay is highest. I'm the same way. You know, it's certificate here. License here, did this there, did that there. I'm not attaching myself to any company. And the thing is like, I don't even want to be taking, it makes me feel disgusting even taking part in the way that the system is set up. Like part of the reason why so much of this is happening is because of all this bloated bullshit and the bureaucracy behind like benefits and the pensions and the 401ks and the assignment of money and the tax, all of it is like, it's just such a joke. There are benefits in having some of this stuff set up, but the overwhelming element of it has attached a dependency to people, which is basically combining all of these elements. And therefore, you are heavily penalized. You're extremely heavily penalized for going out on your own. This is like, the way my dad said it the other day was just like, it makes sense, but it's also like so screwed at the same time. It's like if you work for somebody else, it's like you basically, that's an extra $5,000. Because if you work for yourself, you have to pay the out-of-pocket self-employment tax. And I think it scales based on how much that you make. I couldn't remember how much I had to pay this last time around. But it's true. It's like you are penalized for trying to not be a cog in the system. And in fact, this entire, both socially and mechanically, you are going to get ground up if you don't hit your P's and Q's. Aren't doing everything exactly as you should be. You're not, not breaking in a decent amount of money as well. And so you get hit financially, and then you also are just all of the social pressures, and then there's some of those in general, right? Which is just, if you try to say, hey mom, I'm going to go be a streamer. They're like, no, you're not, and if anything, it probably would be more beneficial for parents to not give the fake answer. Don't give the answer of well, we wanted to just tell them how you feel. Be like, I don't think you have a chance. You shouldn't chase your dreams because I think it's easier for you to chase what's safe. Instead of playing this back and forth, because I think some people just end up rubber banding really hard, and they end up chasing something that they ultimately wouldn't be good at. I'm not trying to be offensive by any means at all, but I just really get tired of how dishonest everybody is in the space, whether it's from parents to children, children to parents, politicians to people, people to politicians, all of it. I hate it. I hate it. I think that's the part of the game that I refuse to play is the song and dance. I fucking hate the song and dance. I really do. I completely. It's just say what you mean, but please, why are we dancing around, beating around the bush? Just say it. Say it. And but one thing I wanted to not spend and cover Vivek Ramaswamy for a lifetime. But there was a couple other stuff, in terms of the Iran war. Something that I thought was a little odd was the Rerum Novarum floated out a couple of headlines today, and one of them was from a Politico article, but the Politico article was from in the middle of last month, so I really didn't know why they ran it. But I think that just also goes to show too, the conflict's not gone anywhere, with the Iran war. So I saw this one. I'll go right to it from Rerum Novarum. I think I do have it here, right? Maybe no. Either way, I know exactly which one it is. I'll go take it to you. But essentially, this idea that the reason the conflict's not ending is because Iran is going out of their way to ensure that Trump can't end the war the way he wants to, which goes along with, again, if you've been following the coverage from Nick. So we have this here from earlier today from 6 o'clock. They say, quote, Trump badly wants the war to end, but the Iranians are so far refusing to give him what he needs to save face and leave. From Politico, citing a senior Gulf Arab official. And so when I ran this through, I typically do this a lot of times with Unusual Whales and Disclosed TV. I'll say I need to find the article that this exact quote comes from, or this exact language comes from. And yeah, it was April 16th was the name of the article, or the date of the article. And so if anything, it's maybe perhaps this was just, it was said again, and maybe I'm mistaken, or if anything, maybe this just goes to show what we've been saying, it's gone nowhere. This complete kind of stalemate where seemingly we're just losing. It's just a thing that's happening now. It's kind of almost falling out of the news cycle a little bit. Not really, but at the same time, it's it's losing its edge. It's oh yeah, that thing, it's been going on for a few months, it's it's happening. It's kind of how most people were with COVID, 5 months into it. They're well, this could be just the way it all ends. Just kind of a thing that's happening nowadays. And there was a little bit of normalcy then too, because they were opening up restaurants. They were doing the 6 feet social distancing. I remember doing that. I was a server at a restaurant and bartender. and having to set up the little stupid signs every other table. You know, all the sections were like split up in super weird ways. Having to like all doing all the opening and closing stuff with like the cleaning. It was so annoying. And the way they would also like present too is just crazy. Like, you know, people would come in, you know, they'd have their mask on. You have to enter the building with your mask on. You go in and then you'd be seated. And then as soon as they're seated, you take the mask off. It was such a, like, it was handing out red pills. All you had to do was just open your eyes during COVID in a restaurant and you just red pill, red pill, red pill, red pill. Because like the COVID scared to like go up and around the booths, you know, like they were making a bunch of these funny comics. It's been a long time since I remember some of it. Sometimes I forget how old I am, to be honest with you. And but yeah, just give you an update on the Iran war. There's another element here too. Two of them actually. This is so there was the internal State Department. I'll grab this. This is funny to me. The internal State Department from the Wall Street Journal. Memo warns U.S. diplomats not to use confidential information to place bets on prediction market websites. And it's like, wow, we're almost like 2 months too late for that. Everybody caught on. Everybody caught on a long time ago, actually. Where have you been? I thought that was funny. And what's also crazy is it's like, so there's reporting going back and forth. And I got this one from AF Post from earlier. And so you have on one side, you have this reporting that like Tom Homan's being super like vocal about getting this taken care of. You know, getting the deportations back on track, the immigration, handling it. And at the same time, you have another report this one came from AF Post, but who do they cite? Put up on screen for you. Look at this, just AF Post. I saw another article. But AF Post, ICE is shelving its fast-track training program to deploy thousands of new recruits to places like Minnesota. So you have on one hand, you have, Tom Homan and them like, all right, we're going to start ramping up the deportations again. We're going to start focusing on domestic. And then the other side, the report that you see attached to it, same day. And ICE is also shelving this fast-track process, and we're not getting more agents. We're not getting more recruits, actually. We're just going to keep on pretending like we're doing the deportations. And it's sad because even AF Post was pushing it earlier. They had one talking about how there was, because there's like four or five, they estimate 4 or 5 self-deportations for every single person they do actually deport from the normal process. And so they're like, so really it's like Trump's actually really kind of like on pace to deport like 5 million people. Just like, okay. And I'm black. I'm LeBron James. Did you know that? I played for the Cavaliers for like 7 seasons. You know, and it's like, when does the joke stop? Actually, like, I thought it was an inside joke. I just jumped in. You know, yeah, give me an effing break, dude. It's like, if anything, it's like, I feel like the immigration's getting worse. I'm not even joking you. Part of why the reason we moved out was also to not be in the city, but also a little bit cheaper not being in the city too. And no joke, there's this little gas station near me, nice, sweet old ladies, well, there's a younger lady in there too, but nice, sweet ladies in there all the time, just working probably like their primary, secondary job where their husband does whatever. And I go in there the other day, and you know what? I'm not even joking you. It's filled with Indians. The guys who are in a turban, he couldn't understand what I was saying. He was trying to tell me what's up. Because I always go in there. I always ask for the same thing, right? You see me vape all the time. I go in there and I was like, I need a 2-pack of the 5%, the menthol views. And he's like, you want 4-pack? You want 5-pack? 5-pack? 2-pack? 4-pack? 5-pack? And I was like, no. I was like, I just want the 1-pack. That's the 2 pods. That's 5%. It's a series of numbers. And no joking, he's like, that's what I said. I knew what you wanted. No, I knew what I wanted. I'm telling you. And it's like, dude, I'm like, where the fuck do these people get off at? Where do you get the audacity to like come in here, half-ass speak my language, and then you're gonna sit there and tell me You're gonna tell me that, oh, you knew. No, you didn't know. Brother, I sat there and watched you grab the wrong one. This is why I said that's why I said what I said. And he's trying to play it off. It's like, you think I'm stupid? I'm right here, dog. I'm not looking at anything but you grabbing the stuff off the counter. But then it hit me as I'm walking out the store. I was like, wait a minute. Where all the white ladies go? Like, where all the white ladies go? It's brutal, man. I don't, and I think it's expanding. You know, I think they're getting pushed further and further out. You know, and I would say on top of that would be, I think that this is also part of what we've seen with the fraud programs. And I think that's why I'm seeing them in my town, is I think this is probably a part of, they got in on some kind of, you know, they got some kind of grant, some kind of like small business loan. They probably bought out from underneath whoever was previously there. And that's where they are. And, you know, I hope that's not the case. I hope I see those ladies in there again. But every time I've gone in, what are you doing? I knew what you wanted. It's like, just put the bulletproof glass up, dog. So I'm telling you, if you don't have it here next time, one of us ain't gonna be going home. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. But like, truly, I just like put the bulletproof glass up so I can at least punch that when I get angry. And what's up, Tom? I appreciate seeing you in here too, man. Dude, I like. Well, I don't. So it doesn't matter how many posts AF Posts can push out there. It doesn't matter how many times that Andrew Wilson and Rachel Wilson say, "Well, the border's closed. The border's closed." Well, it's like, that's great. We already lost. That's awesome. You know, it's kind of like the invader comes in. The invader comes in. He goes in the first kid's room.
Nativist friend has donated $2 and says, next time tell Mr. Indian do not redeem.
Do not redeem. No, what are you doing? But it's the equivalent of, we let the invader in. The invader comes in. He's like, all right, I want this. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this. Boom, boom. There goes your kids. Boom, boom. There goes your wife. And then like and then like somebody shuts the door behind him and he goes, oh my gosh, win. This is winning. Guys, this is winning. They're trying to say it as like, I can barely hear them over the rage of seeing what's just been taken from me. Guys, we're winning. The door's shut. They're pointing to the door. We shut the door. That's crazy. And then I'm like looking at all this stuff that's just destroyed in my home. All the 10 brown men standing there with baklavas on. Win, and they're getting closer to me with guns, and they're like, you're winning. You know, Andrew Wilson's like, you're winning. We got the pedophiles. I shut the door. Winning. And this is the best you can expect from forever. Golden age. He's giving you 90% of what you want. I mean, like, dude, we could go and go. And I'm going to use that analogy time and time again, but that's what it looks like. And like, you just sit there and you're like, I don't know who to hit first. I don't know if I should fight back against the foreigner or go after you. Like, at least the foreigner's like being honest, right? It's like, I came to take and steal. You're just lying to me. Why weren't you here? Why did you watch him come in and then just walk in behind? You know, like, what are we doing? What? So I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Thank you for the super chat, though. I appreciate it. Do not redeem. You know, Lord. It's like, how do you not crash out when people do that stuff? How am I supposed to not crash out when everyone says, look, the door is closed, and they want to dance around. They want to clap and cheer. They're doing rain dances in the street. Yeah, literally doing rain dances in the street because we can't dance normally now. A perfect white society is a society that doesn't have dancing in the streets.
J.R. Williams 4029 has donated $4.99 and says, for miles down US 42 they have bought up every drive-through, gas station, and liquor store aside from Soedway and UDF. How do they get priority SBA LOA?
Yeah, well, you know what's crazy is I'm pretty sure 42 is shut down near me because there was a big accident. And then I'll do one better. I'll do you one better. I saw this yesterday on my way back. on the way back from, I think I was picking up groceries way back home. They're shutting all the railroads down next to us because I guess they're checking them out for some reason, doing some kind of maintenance. I'm not even joking you. I saw 3 different of these ODOT trucks. There was one black dude and 11 Indians. I'm not even joking you. And the black dude's the one that's driving in the driver's seat of the one truck. Every single other one was Indian. It was so weird because the guy's in like this full kind of white with like neon kind of get up, like, you know, like the ODOT transportation safety kind of stuff. But his hood's over top. My car's getting close. He's like up on the railroad looking at something. You were allowed, like one single lane. I get up there and go past and like he raises his hood and I was like, Aladdin? And I was like waiting for like when the genie was going to come out somewhere. I'm like, whoa, this is not what I was expecting. But it's like, trains are your worst enemy. I was like, is this a super Indian? Because you guys know the history with Indian and trains, dude. It's like the greatest rivalry of all time. And to see that, I was like, he has gone out of his natural habitat and he has conquered. He has wrestled with his superior and he has conquered it. And I was like, I can't even be mad. This Indian came to America to understand how to conquer trains. I'm like, how could you, I mean, I only feel, that's great, dude. That's awesome, dude. I love that for you. I think that's perfect. That's great. You should do that. Very one-sided rivalry. I think trains are up like 7 bajillion to like 1, maybe. The apex predator in India, the freight train. Yeah, it is, dude. Like, I have a friend in, it's like if I a guaranteed way to make him laugh, it's like, hey, dude, what about Indians versus Trains 3? There's a couple of these compilations you can find. And it's always good when you find someone who doesn't know. They're like, you're like, oh, dude, you don't know about Indians and trains? Oh, let me, I got something for you. Let me cue it up. Give me the aux. Put on that Indians versus Trains 1. And it's just 3 straight minutes of brown people flying. Or like the why are you walking there? You know, it's like, you know, someone's getting into it when like 2 minutes later you hear them like, what are they doing? Why is he standing there? What was he thinking? Because half of them are these dudes like, you know, they're getting the selfie. And it's like they're walking in the middle of the effing tracks and it's like, boom, the phone goes flying. Like, what is this? So, I remember we were red pilling my one friend in the Discord. This was like 4 years ago. And it was that exact scenario playing out. It was like 2 of us with our other friend, and me and him were like, oh, bro, you don't know about Indians versus trains? Dude, we like quit playing whatever game we were playing. We're like, bro, somebody grab, find the video, dude. Send this into the group chat. We were like playing Apex Legends or something. We all are like standing still on the map, idle, AFK. I'm like, bro, no, the game doesn't matter. You need to see this. You need to see Indians versus trains. Golden content. And now they're here. And now it's not so funny anymore. Now it's kind of a tragedy. Now it's actually kind of a tragedy. Yeah. Yeah, and now all our train stations are shutting down. Coincidence? I think not. Or maxing for better karma. It is crazy for Eggdoll physics. I'd play some of it on stream, but I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble or not. It's funny though, you gotta find this stuff. It's so good. It's good stuff. Yeah. You know, yeah, imagine a 30, and you know what she's gonna think? She's gonna be like, what racist put this video together? What racist went out of his time? And it's like, ma'am, you need to understand, this is all videos. If an Indian is near a train, the train will find a way. No, that's the wrong way to say it. the Indian will find a way to be hit by the train. The train has nowhere to go but the track it's on. Indian has all of Earth to go be. But they are attracted to the track. They must be there. And, it's just funny. For anybody who doesn't know, doesn't get that or see it, please take the time to go look up Indians versus trains. So, if you want to know something else that's really gay, I'm going to bring this up too. This is so gay. It makes sense though. It makes sense that like gays would support gays. But this is Benny Johnson. I would like to publicly endorse. Let me make this bigger. You guys see it. Benny Johnson says, I would like to publicly endorse Scott Pressler for chairman of the RNC. Tyler Bauer as co-chair. That's crazy because he's kind of gay too. No one cares more about Republican-based strategy on a grassroots level than these two. It would mean Republican majorities for the next 50 years. Time to do what must be done. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, dude. Bro. Guys, who doesn't just sit there and just feel like a fire was lit. Just a fire was lit in your soul when you see Scott Pressler and you're like, dude, I want to be like Scott Pressler. I can't do it. I want my hair flowing. I want a little bit of gay pep in my step. As I I go walking down the street. It's like Benny Johnson and Scott Pressler doing the gay walk. That's Republican politics, dude. Burn it down, dude. And then people are mad like I voted Democrat. Bro, it doesn't matter. Like it's all gay, dude. Every second of it is gay. No matter where you look, it's gay. There's something gay about it. Literally, physically, literally, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, methodically, mechanically, pragmatically. I mean, 110 different ways you could just say like it's gay, bro. It's so gay. Why is Scott Pressler even around still? We want to look at the reason why Casey couldn't win an election, whatever. But it's like, bro, Scott Pressler still. How is he still in good company at the GOP? He should be getting similar treatment to Vivek. I don't care if you can pass out a bajillion flyers in 10 minutes. You're gay. we don't want your version of Republican. And if that really is the truth, right? If no one cares more about Republican, capital R Republican, than Scott Pressler, well then of course, then I'm not Republican. I don't want any part of this. I don't want any part of this globo homo, everyone's all the skin color. I mean, it's like the Republicans are almost more woke at this point than the left is, which is like a crazy thing to say. But they're both these massive big tents. They're both these massive tents that I know I don't want a part of at all. So yeah, so it's like if I have a vote, and I'm gonna wield it, and dude, I've been here my whole life. I will walk in and say, "I love you, Amy." Bang, and to flip the double birds to Vivek as I walk out. Get the hell out of my country, dude, bro. I just people that keep treating politics, it's like super serious, and it's like there's no political solution. But if there's political solution, it's got to be this very specific thing. Play the music, dude. Just play the music and burn it down. Just play the music, play that country music. It's so gay, dude. I wake up every single morning and wonder how could it have gotten that much gayer than yesterday? I was only sleeping for a few hours. You're telling me it got that gay? And again, this is me being a bit flippant, but I wholeheartedly am just like, it's so hard to even care about any of this anymore, because half the people who are literally raging the hell out are people who I've never seen before from like anonymous profiles, and their profiles of like a fucking beagle. Wow, dude, hey, everybody calm down. Let Jeremiah 301 like tell it how it is. And I mean, I get it. I mean, there's a part of it which is like, you there's anonymous reasons to be anonymous. Don't get me wrong, but it's just so hard, dude. It's like it's so hard to even like be into it in the slightest. Why did that one not? Why didn't that one auto select? Click on it.
Dillweed 3018 has donated $9.99 and says, do you think that Wilson's recent debate with Owen was a strategy to gain more traction when he debates Dinesh D'Souza in July? He started the cancel culture train on Pat Buchanan.
From just the stuff that I've been around, like even inside of the group so far, like, and like, again, I'm really probably already pissing people off, so I'll try to keep it simple. But there is an element of that I do think, going back to this one from Dillweed, put it back up.
Dillweed 3018 has donated $9.99 and says, do you think that will...
I'm sorry.
Train on Pat Buchanan.
I mean to replay it again. But like I said the other day, like what I've noticed on the inside of like being a part of any of these group chats or being close to anybody in this space, it's like they would sacrifice their own child if it meant they could climb to the next ring. If it meant they could get maybe instead of getting 150K views per video, they could get 200K videos per view. They would do whatever. Turned it over in a handbasket. I'm not saying that as like a direct reflection of the Crucible. I'm just saying it wouldn't be beyond the pale. It wouldn't shock me at all if it was only done in an attempt to reach bigger crowds, bigger audiences, grow the platform, attach themselves to MAGA, get more into MAGA, really kind of solidify that base down. Like, probably there's a bunch of different reasons for it, but I mean, I'm telling you, like, it would really peel your brain back if you saw just how much of this was all for attention for a lot of these people. Like a lot of these influencers, content creators, it's just their main purpose is how can I get a little bit more money? How can I get a little bit more attention? How can I be seen? Like it's all ego driven. It's vanity. It's selfishness. Like a lot of it's like it doesn't even feel real. And so in terms of the Wilsons, I wouldn't like to levy that accusation against them. I wouldn't like to say that that's why they did it. I don't think that it did. I think they are captured by something. I think there's something very odd about the way that Wilson has avoided the kind of concept that most people have been pushing, which is this idea of the Israeli kind of co-opting of the country, and that being the directive of which Trump is operating under. He seems to reject that. And I think that's extremely weak ground, and I think it only opens itself for, questioning. Like it's suspect, if you will.
iWorld Champion has donated $5 and says, all seriousness aside, it's still Fabian socialists in supranational organizations. Oh, and Juz. Lots of Juz. And also gays.
Juz. It's just a bunch of Juz, dude. I like that. Can we keep that one around? It's just a bunch of Juz, man. It's all these Juz. Dude, I like that. It's like the Spanish accent on it too. That's pretty funny. And then that's a huge part of it. It's and these things are all connected, right? Race realism plays into this idea, this concept of tribalism. But it's also there's these connections, they kind of intersect at different points. And there's certain very monetized reasons why a lot of people would not choose to pursue that. And also too, like, in terra firma, I think is another point here, is Wilsons are secure. Why would they care about demographic security when they have a gated community in lockdown tighter than anything a low white will ever be able to hide behind? Maybe that's also the other reason too, which is like they also maybe aren't even relating to the average person. Yeah, there are some ancillary elements that they are insulated from a lot of what other people are seeing, or it's harder for them to grasp or see, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it. I
Michael
really don't.
Crawford 5650 has donated $9.99 and says Jewish Democrats vs Red Dot Republicans, trash vs garbage.
Literally. You remember the meme of the with the 2016 with Hillary Clinton? It was the what was South Park doing? It was like a turd versus a douchebag. Right? Was that what it was? It was like a piece of shit versus a douchebag or something like that. It was like, there's no no matter which way you go, it's like, what would you prefer, the douche or the turd? And it's like both are pretty rough. And you're spot on with that. Red Dot Republicans. That's a great phrase. And the idea and the hope is that goes away forever. And does not, I mean, it's not going to go away forever. We know it's going to be around, at least for the time being, while the GOP is in the middle of this kind of transformatory process. But they're kind of grasping at straws for a lot of things. And I thought, if anything, like what JD Vance wouldn't have done would have vocalized himself, because like that's him basically giving more cannon fodder to people to attack him for. So when I saw JD throw his weight behind Vivek, I didn't take that as like he wanted to vocalize his support. I think it was more so as like a signal, as like he needed to, like they're on the same team, they're playing ball together, like he owes him one. And we know they were close. Well, they went to Yale. They were at Yale at the same time. JD's son's name is Vivek. I'd have to refresh myself on how close they are, like actually, like as friends, and like what kind of interactions they had there too. But I mean, I think that already tells a story in and of itself. They're familiar with each other. They know who each other is. Who they are. And there's also the odd element, naming your son Vivek, but JD's also married to Ushna or Usha, whatever her name is. Giant douche versus turd sandwich. Thank you. And then you have this. And then you have this kind of concept, and I think this is really what a lot of what JD Vance was meant to be, similar to like this boomer rhetoric that we were talking about, with the Dunner Whiffin's comment earlier, and Nick spoke on this the other day too. But JD Vance basically being the hillbilly version of Obama, and really, with his book Hillbilly Elegy, in which you kind of get this kind of concept there, where you kind of get this feeling of distaste for the people he was around. And there's this kind of idea, which is JD Vance's rhetoric and his push would be along the lines of what you saw with Vivek, which is no one's to blame. It's you to blame. You have nobody to blame but yourself. There's no actual external circumstances that are happening that matter, that are doing anything. And what you have there, and then would it be compounding with that, you'd have this message from JD Vance, which would be to expound upon that and say, no, look at me. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with race. I mean, he would be representative of that. He's in an interracial marriage, and he would be pushing that same message, which is like, no, it's not the Jews. No, it's not foreigners. No, it's not this. It's actually because you are not pulling yourself up by your bootstrap. No other reason, actually. Yeah, JD Vance is a fake person. He's a creation. He is a creation for not American interest. That's for sure. I guess says, bro, fight on brand risk. I would be down to do a fight. I'm not afraid of doing a fight if anybody wanted to do one. But like, who would I? With Zeb? Me and Zeb go on brand risk? I would take that. I would. But no, Zeb can stay where he's at. I'd have to go up to where Zeb is at, but there's a big weight difference. We're not in the same weight class right now. Because I'm under 2 and Zeb's over 2. So we'd have to I'd have to either go up or he'd have to come down. We have to come up or come down. One of the 2. Oh, buddy. That's good to know. That's good to know. Which is crazy because I'm pretty sure like I'm bigger. I think by all accounts I'm I have the frame and reach on Zeb. I don't know about height. I think we might be the same height, but I might have the reach on him. I have like super long arms. I have like orangutan arms. I don't even know how you even get on a brain risk fight. You get like invited, I would imagine, to by like Aiden Ross or somebody. Isn't that who it runs it? Aiden? Aiden's not gonna invite me, dude. I don't know if he would. Zeb is country, brother. I grew up in the country. I've only lived in Columbus since I went to college. What gives it away? Like, is there like an idea that like I'm city? I mean, I did live in the city for 10 years. It did change me a little bit. I am a recovering wigger. I'll give you that. That's fine though. I'm a jack of all trades, master of the crafts, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be enjoyable. This one didn't go off. There's something wrong with Dillweed, dude. There's something wrong with your maybe I need to change the settings. Maybe it's not auto selecting since you're not a member, but it should be because you're donating.
Dillweed 3018 has donated $9.99 and says, I'm saying he used the Owens debate to shield himself from being called an anti-Semite from Zions when he debates Dinesh, so Wilson's anti-Zion position can't be disregarded by saying he's crazy.
Interesting. The well, that is true, you know, which is crazy because it's not, I don't think many people saw that, but at the very beginning of that debate, Andrew Wilson did lay out, he was like, I know I'm going to be taking this, but I'm an anti-Zionist. I'm anti-Christian Zionism. However, that's not, being an anti-Zionist is not the same thing as being against the Jewish fifth column. Those are like still two different entities. Andrew Wilson may be all against completely the subversion that is this kind of idea of Christian Zionism, post-millennial forgive me. The dispensationalism, forgive me, dude, I literally butchered that so bad. Is it completely different than from being against like Judaism and the religious connection Judaism has to this kind of bureaucratic, political, secular entertainment media conglomerate that has existed as essentially as a parasite. They're two things. Both, I mean, it's good that he's against, you know, that he is against Zionism, but that's only like talking about like the Christian branch of the subverted element of the Christian side inside of that problem, which is, don't get me wrong, a huge element of the problem, but still is not the full comprehensive. It's not the full robust picture being entertained by that. And so I would say, I mean, he's at least being honest about that. I think, I mean, if anything, he debates this all the time. I've said this when it happened. I would like to see Wilson debate Nick, and I think it should be on the things that they disagree on. But perhaps they can switch it to Trump. They can debate on whether Trump's presidency has been good or bad, and perhaps in the downstream from that larger kind of debate title, you would get something that would touch upon Israel. Because I don't know if Wilson would take a straight up debate about Judaism or something to that effect. Said I'm black. That's funny. I will check out the that thing on the social stream though, because I don't know why Dillweed's chats aren't automatically showing. First round KO by third hour. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Oh no. So there's that too. And there's a couple things I wanted to react to. Oh, this is the big one. This is the big one that we have to react to, because I don't know if many people have seen this or paid attention to it. But we have to. We have to do this. Tell me if you guys saw this or not. Not what's on screen right now. We got to go to YouTube. So I want to know if you guys saw this or not. This blew me away because I haven't given a comment on it yet, and I haven't really watched much of it. I saw the thumbnail and I saw people reacting. Interesting. Where's it at? Did he delete it? Oh, no way. Did he really? He deleted it. That's crazy. Well, let me show you because there should be screenshots still. He put like a stream together that said like why I'm leaving the right. It's from May 5th. What's that one account I've been seeing it from? Stupid Amalek account. Let me find it. He had the screenshot, I do believe. Bro, how do you post that many times, dude? Holy crap. I don't even understand how people do this, dude. How do you? I'll never get it, man. See, I told you I wasn't crazy. Yeah, it was a stream, but he took it down. It's not on his page anymore. I checked it on my phone last night just to be sure I wasn't getting pumped like by a fake screenshot or not, but he must have taken it down. I didn't see any of it at all. I was actually planning on reacting to it, but if he deleted it, then I think that's a sign. So it's like, is he leaving the right wing? Is he not? You know, so I'm leaving the right wing. It's like, dog. All of that, like, is an overreaction to the fact of getting just like pressured. You know what I mean? Like, because of everything that happened with America First United. But this is like an overreaction. You know what I mean? It's like, you're going to take flack for it. Like, of course, obviously. Why wouldn't you? But just like sit there. You don't have to fight it every single second. Like, you're not going to, and not everyone's going to like you. You're going to be hated regardless. And he knows that. He should know that at this point. I don't know why you would delete the stream, dude. Because now you just look like you're flipping, spiraling. Like, you don't want to give that up to the enemy. You know? I mean, I've had limited contact with him. He's been kind to me. I know how you guys feel about him. I'm not going to be over the top. But it's very disappointing, though, that you would do something like this and then just straight up disappear. So I'm assuming this is from that stream, though. Just take a listen. I really don't know who this account is at all. And I'm assuming they're trying to clip this to get like a points on Brillium. So we'll take a listen to what he says here. And he also said that he has like Tourette syndrome, which I didn't know. I thought like he literally was just tweaking the entire time. But he says that he does have Tourette syndrome. So like, you know, fair's fair, I guess.
The whole idea behind them trying to tie me to Fuentes is twofold. One, they have flooded the zone with all this nonsense about me, that I'm some kind of transgender, that I'm some kind of diaper fetishist, all this bullshit, okay? They flooded the zone with that about me. So that's already kind of like on my record. And two, because we're ideologically different, if you put me next to him or say that I'm under him, it makes it look as if Fuentes doesn't know what he believes. It makes it look as if Fuentes is ideologically inconsistent. In doing that, they can debase him. They can say, look, this guy that you're putting political capital behind, he doesn't even know what he believes. Because he says one thing, and yet he's actually hanging out with this guy. Meanwhile, I've met Nick Fuentes one time in my life. One time for like 30 seconds. And I've never claimed myself to be a...
Oh, dude. Is Sketch is that dude who's like... Are we talking about the dude who's like literally half retarded? Is that who Sketch is? Hold on. Hold on. Right? Tell me I'm right? I don't want to delete, dude. Okay, that's who I thought it was. Wasn't he the guy who was doing all the gay porn and stuff too? He had like an OnlyFans. I can't. I'm getting too old, dude. I'm getting too old, man.
A Groyper or a Groyper general or yada yada yada. I've never in my life, and so this is what they do. It's their strategy. I don't know who Chronic is, and I'm not going to call him. I don't talk. If you have sub 100K, I'm not going to talk to you. I don't have time to do that. If you have sub 100K, I'm not going to fucking talk to you. I'm not. I have no reason to collaborate with you media-wise. Literally zero. You want to talk to me? Come to New Jersey. Come find me. And then we can make time. Beyond that, I'm not going to fucking make time for people who have less than 100K. I'm not. Now, if you had 100K, I would sit with you and talk with you all day. We could be all day. But if you don't have that...
What is he at? What is he at on X? Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Tom here. Okay, so that's crazy, dude. This guy, I mean, like, to be fair, dude, like, he's been on a heater on YouTube. Like, congrats on being on a heater on YouTube. But he just broke 100K. What was it, like a week ago? Are you kidding me? Like, he literally just, I swear on God's green earth, he just broke 100K like a week or 2 weeks ago. And now everybody underneath that is like nothing. Well, bro, why the fuck did you even allow me to get signed to this label? Now I'm like, I'm worthless to even fucking talk to. I mean, it's obvious because of the way that nobody seems to clearly have an idea of where the fuck I stood on any of this shit. That just pisses me the fuck off, dude. So I'll say this now. I want no blowback from this, dude. None. I wasn't involved. I was super fucking poor timing. But that's bullshit, dude. That's bullshit. Now you're just fucking spiraling, dude. Like, somebody's got to get, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, like, I could probably reach out, but I don't know, dude. I would. I was going to. I thought about it. But why would you want to fucking hear from me? Because I have less than 100K. Jesus, dude. You can't. I just, like, you couldn't force me to, Yes, they do it to themselves. They do it to themselves. And it's not even mad about that. It's like, we're going to automatically become an elitist the moment that we break 100K. Like, okay. Like, okay.
I have no fucking business talking to you. I'm way too busy for that. I'm sorry. Sorry. Like, what do you want from me? You are Catboy Commando for the Groiper Militia. Yeah, okay. According to fucking, yeah, exactly. According to those people, that's what I am. So yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm just having like a fucking raid on my chat. I don't know. People, I find A-logging so weird. I find like raiding so weird. It's like, dog, get your views up. Like, focus on you, man. What are you doing? Like, I understand. Okay, you know what? Actually, no. Let me scratch that. I understand ankle biting via hatred on like Twitter. That's how I got Twitter followers. Is I would ankle bite Captive Dreamer, I would ankle bite whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you get followers on Twitter. Is you become an A-logger, you become a reply guy to people, and you do that not because you actually give a fuck about what they're talking about. You do it so that the people who agree with you will find you and then follow you. That's why you do it. That's why all you.
I've been doing a lot more of this lately, actually.
By the way,
it does work.
That's why Jaden McNeil does it to me. That's his bit. He has a very small stream that's not growing, like at all, because like none of these people understand.
Well, and to be fair, like I'm kind of full of myself too, but I don't know if I'd go that far.
Good show.
But you know, like, so Captive Dreamer, like you go at him to get you A-log to get followers. That I understand, but on YouTube, it's like, we all exist in our own like weird little niches. Like, why are you, like, I don't understand. Like, it's just kind of stupid.
I just, like, it couldn't have been words. Like, they were right the first time. Like, just ignore it, dude. Like, let it pass. Like, take the blows and let it pass. But like responding and doing this back and forth, it's just like high school, dude. High school level stuff. My gosh. This is from Tom. He says, so the thing with this guy is when he makes highly edited content, he can go get people to like him. But when he goes outside or speaks at an event, he comes off as gay AF and he gives everyone the creeps. Well, I think that's probably what he should lean into more than with the edited content. I mean, he can do it better than I can.
Craig Butler ZC9Yo has donated $4.99 and says just send a video in a beard son laughing at ZEB because of his reply. Full clip couldn't get uploaded because of Discord, but you should watch it.
In the Discord? Is it in the let me find it. You can DM it to me too. Well, let me pull up Discord. Let me find it. Because I don't know if you guys saw this. Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, Discord loaded in major bajillion. What the heck is going on with my Discord, dude? Let me find this. Okay. How do I'm going to figure out, hold on. We're going to do some quick maths. You ready for this? I'm going to do some quick window capture. Yeah, window capture. Grab Discord. It's this one. Capture audio, please. Thank you. Actually, no, I want that turned all the way down. Okay, so let me make this full screen. Bruh. Said I didn't think this would crossover episode. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for sending it in. Let me get it bigger now. Window capture 5. I need to drag it all the way down here. Sorry, it's going to take a second. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Come on. Nope. Right here. Okay. It's not going to be formatted properly at all, but we're going to try. Let's see it.
The tide is turning finally.
Oh, shoot. It's
This guy
sideways.
follows me.
Hold on, I can fix this. Right? Can I rotate this? Maybe not. I don't know if I can rotate this. It's totally because of the phone record. I see that. Let me see if I can. I can't rotate an asset in. No, yeah, I can. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, dude. Zeb could never do that on the fly. I want you guys to know that. I want everyone to know that in their heart of hearts. Okay, take a listen.
Hey, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? Zeb Boy. The tide is turning finally. Bro, this guy follows me. What the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? Zeb Boykin? Nick is on. What the fuck?
Bro, the fact that you just. Zeb, are you going to let this slide? That was funny. Hey, you're getting noticed though, dog. That's funny. And even Craig said, not gonna lie, it does look pretty bad in the clip perspective though. Zeb, you know I love you, dog. But you're gonna take shots. If you're anti-Nick, you're gonna take shots. You're gonna get shots. Listen, I saw people even in he says full clip is worse. I told Zeb this. I said, listen, it's gonna have to be this way for a while. Until me and Josh and Tom can convince Zeb's gonna be out. He's gonna be out in the rain, dude. Zeb, at any point in time, dog, you can come on the porch. You don't have to sit in the rain. You don't have to do it to yourself. It's like Zeb said to me, he said it doesn't have to be this way. But this is like the whole thing. Like people are like, I saw he was having conversations. It's like, yeah, like I'm gonna have conversations with people like I don't agree with all the time. Crazy, dude. Crazy people, man. It's like, yeah, like it kind of like, oh no, like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, I talked to a woman, she doesn't agree with me politically. Oh, it's like, dude, yeah, like someone's got to be here, dude, to convince Zeb. Somebody, let's find it. Because Beardson did quote him. Hey, thank you for sending that in, Craig. That was hilarious. Where is it at? I don't even think Zeb's in here anymore. He got tired of me. He got tired of hearing me talk about Amy Acton. No, I have to look at Beardson. Yeah, I wanted to see this too, just see where Richard Spencer was at. Like, it's like Beardson just like not a person? Not OSR is shooting stars. It's hilarious though. It's hilarious that that's the little bookmark I click on. Where's this quote tweet at? Oh, I didn't even know that happened. Bang. Oh, this is from last night. I thought this was earlier today. I didn't even know that. This is Beardson quoting Zeb. Says they're really bragging about getting 18%. Says holy cow. Oh, Zeb said there's any nicked back candidate has hold 18% in a statewide race. Nick only attacks powerful people. Also, no. Interesting. Ooh. 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 Whoa, dude. Edward Zoll, bro. So this, if you guys don't know, he comes from Died Suddenly. He's a producer. I guess he's working there with Vincent James, which I didn't even know. But like, woo. Like, woo. That's crazy. That's a back and forth right there. That's crazy, man. Zeb, you got Edward Zoll coming at you, dude. I don't know who any of these other people are. Who do you consider a Nick-backed candidate? Yeah, who would be, right? Joe Kent? That's like the extent of it. That's crazy, dude. Who said bury me with William's thong, dude? Get the fuck, go home. You need to go home. That's crazy. I didn't see that Edward Zoll died. I missed this. That's crazy. Edward Zoll says enjoy the crash out. It's what you'll be remembered for. Instead of running a hard-fought race. There is no crash out. What race is Nick running? The one where he helps the Jew win. Interesting. Dude, Zeb might even be in a smaller minority than what I thought he was. I wouldn't expect. I mean, Edward's all coming out. He's a bit more in the middle of the road kind of guy. I mean, not really middle of the road, but still. But yeah, this is in the go up and see what Beardson said in the chat on this one. By there, he means straight white Christian Americans. Interesting. Or are you saying that Beardson replied in this one? I figured I would have seen the Beardson one. No, in my chat. Wait, Beardson's in here? Oh, Beardson's not in here, dude. He faked me out. Oh, what he said after the clip ended. I see what you're saying. In my chat. I see what you're saying. Someone asked to check replies, and he saw a zebra picture. Zeb's picture left is awesome and said, "Oh my goyim." Okay, I see what you said there. Listen, I love Zeb, man. There's been nothing but
Nativist
nice
friend
to me.
has donated $2 and says Zeb's Confederate blood to picks losing fights.
Confederate flag. That's good. That's a good one, dude. I gotta give it to you. Zeb's Confederate blood. The draw of the South is to lose another war. That's funny. Another classic Yankee W. Another Yankee W. Yes. Another we eat those W's, right? Jameis Winston, I eat my dubs, dude. Yankee. Yankees stand up. This is funny though, dude. I'm dying, bro. The way that the politics has turned out and the direction this has gone, I could not have predicted I would be here or this would be what I would be doing at anything, at any point, all of it. But it's fair. And listen, I even told Zeb this too. I told him, I was like, I want you to go back at me. Like, I want you to, like, fire back. Like, I don't want this to be one-sided, but we're going to open this up and we're going to put it on the socials. Like, you go hard at me. So don't be surprised if you see Zeb like clipping me, like going to my tweets and stuff here too. That's funny. I just didn't expect to see Edward Zoll. Two different reactions, right? Edward Zoll sees me put something. He's like, "You want to work together?" Edward Zoll sees Zeb Boykin. He says, "Hey, calm down, buddy." That's funny. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You can't. Sorry, you can't leave the union. We own you. Yankees own the South, actually. I'm just having fun with it. I am a Yankee. I was born in the North. I will never be a Southerner. Far south as I can go, South Carolina, give or take. Take it or leave it. I ain't going no further. I've been in Georgia before, and like, dude, how people can live in humidity like at that level, I'm sorry, like I couldn't do it. It's just excessive, it's aggressive, and way too much completely. No idea. And a couple other things I want to do, though. I had a couple other reacts here. There was a little bit more counter signaling going back and forth. And it was Richard Spencer. Although Tyler kind of covered that earlier today, I don't really care too much to go back into it. I want to cover some stuff I didn't see. So Nick gave us a bit of his full explanation on Casey. I'll replay this actually, and I think that's actually a good one to have and rehash here. One kind of the mindset. So this isn't even him talking about Vivek, but him talking about, again, going back to Casey. What went wrong in Casey's campaign? Let me put this back up here.
I do want to talk a little bit about Casey Push because I was very hard on him, and a lot of people were saying, why are you attacking this guy? He's a Republican in the race and so on. Here's the thing about this primary, and here's what's actually a little bit crushing. This Republican primary might have actually been winnable. It is totally possible that an insurgent, spoiler, Republican primary challenger could have defeated Vivek Ramaswamy. Just look at the result. Casey Push had almost no name recognition. He raised no money. He hardly did any events. He ran a horrible campaign. And even still, he got almost 20% of the vote, basically just by being on the ballot next to Vivek.
Which is crazy. And that's, again, that kind of goes along with what my friend had said, which was, please give me a reason not to vote for Vivek.
Now imagine if you had somebody like James Fishback in Ohio. Somebody who's actually smart, somebody who's actually good at talking, somebody who actually has a good digital team, somebody who's doing events across the entire state, hitting every county, viral and active on social media.
And I'll say this too. For any politician who's interested in actually being an America First politician, they should probably reach out to that guy named Joan from DC. That was who was boosting and pushing a lot of Fishback early on. And the majority of the Fishback stuff I saw early on was from Joan instead of Fishback's account. And then eventually Fishback's account took over. And then Joan, I think, parted ways with Fishback's campaign. Joan was even a part of the America First United thing. Although, that what does that say about him ultimately? But if he helped with Fishback's campaign, he'd probably be somebody worth actually listening to or, adding onto your team for the digital boost if you need a digital boost on your campaign. The actor Paul Walter Hauser is going after rapers on X? No way. It's funny. Did you see the oh my God. The Pawn Star guys? They got the main guy from Pawn Stars to do a little bit of collab for the White House. We'll come back to this. I want to show you guys this while we're on it. I thought this was funny. It's is it on YouTube as well? Let me just look up White House. They posted it from this one, I believe. Pretty sure. Positive? Maybe not. Bro, how do these people post so many times? I don't understand. Okay. Okay, his name's Rick Harrison. He was here talking with Trump. Where's the little ad though? There it is. This is what I wanted to show. It's only like 8 seconds long.
Okay, the best I could do is the golden age for small businesses.
It's like, dude, it's like, I remember Pawn Stars? I remember. Yeah, that's the wrong use of the meme, actually. Should have said, best I can do is no deportations and give the country to Israel. That's actually what would have been, what would have banged. What's his name, though? Paul Walter Hauser? What's he known for? Why does that look familiar? Just whatever this is. I take compliments from people like Gary Oldman and Mick Foley. I don't need them from grifter sensationalists who use ethnic slur. Oh, it's funny. That's funny. Okay. Well, he looks like the exact kind of guy I would imagine would be saying that. Don't you say bad things about the immigrants? Actually, it wouldn't be that deep of a voice. These people, dude. These people. He's mostly a bit part in all of his roles. Interesting. Apparently he's big into wrestling or whatever. I didn't really ever care that much for wrestling at all. Okay. More on why did Vance's twin? So true. So true, King. Literally though. Yeah. You gotta start putting Paul Walter Hauser faces instead of JD Vance on the meme. But okay.
Imagine if you actually had somebody competent in Ohio. I don't know that that person would have had an easy shot at winning, but certainly it would have been competitive, and it might have even been close. Think about how much Vivek Ramaswamy blew it when he gave his Christmas speech in 2024.
With cocaine.
That was ample material. That was ample ammunition to destroy him. This is Ohio. This is a working class, Appalachian, Rust Belt, Great Lakes state that Republicans have carried, specifically Trump, by 10 points in recent elections. And you have an Indian pharmaceutical billionaire who is trashing white Americans on Twitter on Christmas. And you couldn't win? You couldn't beat him? Think about it. This is Ohio. It's half Rust Belt, half Appalachia. It's all white people. This was ground zero for the Springfield Haitians.
Somebody got to tell me where the whites are, dude.
In cats
still
and dogs.
looking.
Like I said, Trump has carried the state by 10 points as a populist, speaking to the white working class, speaking to the Rust Belt victims. And you've got an Indian first-gen immigrant pharmaceutical billionaire who said on Christmas that Americans are so mediocre and so lazy and so stupid that is why they're falling behind India and Vietnam and China and all these H-1Bs from Asia.
It is true. It was a race that could have been won. I do agree with that. And we can't, retconning things is hindsight's 2020 and all of that. But it would have been cool to see had he started way, way, way early. Had it been a race from the jump, not kind of like a last minute throw your hands in the air, kind of rush together kind of campaign. And I do think that Casey's probably feeling that type of way towards everything that's been going on, and it probably will ultimately shift his kind of political view, I would imagine, just by the experience of what's going on right now. And so, let's hope that these kind of internal bitterances don't become like actual political policy for some of these people. But at the same time, I don't really foresee Casey trying again. Perhaps he will. I mean, his name's out there. But I don't know. It takes this comment. Looks like it's on next stream. It's funny. Yeah, he doesn't do the on chat on screen stuff, does he? But then there was another one, and this is be another kind of maybe out. This is obviously a bit more mainstream, but this one I wanted to cover a little bit just because I saw it. I didn't get a chance to actually see it, so I'm curious what you guys think. But Mark Lynch went on with Benny Johnson, so Mark Lynch is getting a bit more of airtime against Lindsey Graham. And I will say, props to. Well, here's the thing. Despite Trump endorsing Lindsey Graham, it's still a really hard thing for the influencers who are glazing MAGA day in and day out to carry the water for that. So I will say a little bit of prompt for Benny, at least having on Mark and saying, Lindsey Graham needs to go. I'll take it. Am I glad about it? Is it a great thing? Does it deserve praise? No, but we'll take what we can get around here. So let's see what Mark Lynch had to say.
Another representative that doesn't make any sense to me is a man that you're running against. So as much as Jim Clyburn don't make no sense to me, Mark, neither does Lindsey Graham. Because Lindsey Graham just doesn't seem to represent any of the interests of South Carolina in any conceivable way. And in fact, I don't really know how to explain this other than to show you the photo. During the government or DHS TSA shutdown, Lindsey Graham was pig-headed enough to wander around Disney with a princess wand, with a bubble wand. These are real photos of the senator, the man you're running against, just waving his bubble wand around Disney while gas is $4 a gallon for regular Americans, and regular Americans couldn't travel because TSA was defunded. It seems a really bad look.
Oh yeah, he got hammered on that, and he should. He wasn't in D.C. working on things with the gas prices or anything like you said. Why is he down at Disney World with a bubble wand by himself, of all things? And South Carolinians have...
No way. Was he actually by himself? I find that part hard to believe. But if that's true, then that's sad. That's so sad. Oh my God.
Seen Lindsey's been AWOL. And then he makes a comment, we're going to come back to South Carolina and take your sons and daughters to the Mideast to fight in this war. No, you're not. Everybody's tired of Lindsey's warmongering, endless wars. They know that he's...
I'm sorry it's so quiet. I would imagine.
Lockheed Martin and Boeing. They proved that in the last election in 2020. And we're tired of that. Everybody in South Carolina, even though Trump has endorsed Lindsey, we know that Trump knows how to win. He has a lean Senate majority. That's politics. And we break that word down a lot for people. Poly means many, and ticks are blood-sucking parasites. And that's what this game is sometimes. So Trump, with a lean Senate majority, endorsed him so that he could get his votes across the line, because Lindsey will normally pull one or two other Republican senators with him.
It's an interesting kind of position for Mark Lynch to be in, which is he's running against the Trump endorsed candidate while also maintaining his alignment with Donald Trump, which is, this is a smart play. I mean, imagine that Mark Lynch probably thinks other things of Trump and the way that things have been handled. But unlike Casey Putsch, he's going to eat the crow. He's not going to get super vocal against Trump, not to rub anybody too far the wrong way, send off red flag signals for people who are like, super deep into the MAGA entity. This is a solid play for Mark Lynch.
So that's just good business for Trump. He knows he's smart. He's got to get it done.
Yep.
But Lindsey's voting record, Benny, is 43% in the conservative realm. Lifetime voting record, 43%. His lifetime constitutional voting record is 57%. It's failing in all the scorecards that voters can look up and see how their U.S. senators doing.
The thing is with this race in particular, though, is this one's more about Lindsey Graham just being unseated. A ham sandwich would be better in office over Lindsey Graham. And I would say if you were to compare again these three kind of races that have been getting highlighted here in the last couple, like the last month or so, between Lynch and Fishback and Casey, Lynch is, in my opinion, he is kind of like the weakest in terms of who would be willing to see through and enact full blown in our idea and our realm and our world, the idea of these America First policies. He, however, is a much more politically trained and politically acting candidate compared to Putsch. And I would even say that as a Fishback represents a bit more of the new age political candidate. Mark Lynch is kind of what everybody mostly has been used to, and perhaps, if anything, that might actually fit in perfectly with the South Carolina area, which I don't know what the demographics are, but South Carolina is a pretty heavy retirement area. I do know that many people from Ohio actually retire in South Carolina, or they retire in Florida. So I'm sure if there's a lot of older people, a bigger older demographic, he is going to be kind of a perfect face for that group, which is interesting. Yeah, it's not about Lynch winning. It's really about Lindsey Graham losing, getting rid of this incumbent who's been in power for Lord knows how long. Way too long. Jake probably says he's a puppet. Cool, he's a puppet, or y'all just disagree on something. Not who cries wolf. Oh, it says, damn, I keep clicking send before I finish editing. That's funny. That's funny. And yeah, so all props to Mark Lynch. I guess we'll see how that race plays out. I don't know what the date of that South Carolina race is off the top of my head. Guess we can check it out. There's Mark Lynch voting day. When is June 9th? Early voting's already happening right now. We know that Paul Dans withdrew. He withdrew on the very last day, on the deadline, to get your name taken off the ballot. So when is Fishback's then? Earlier than that? No, it's later than that. And there you go. So Fishback, I feel like he's now been campaigning for about a year now. And he still doesn't have his primary, not even all the way until August. So we still have the rest of May to get through, June, July, and then the middle of and halfway through August. So he still has a huge amount of time left to be running this race. I feel like Casey's race was he was only ran for 4 months, essentially, if that. And Mark Lynch has been running for a hot minute too. Mark Lynch has been running, for a hot minute. Even as an interview with Zeb going all the way back to September of last year. And which makes sense if it's in June. It's about a year of campaigning. It's about average for most of these guys. Peace out, Avis. Good to see you in here, brother. That's interesting. And yeah, anything crazy happening on the timeline? Midwest Anarchist says Nick is a catboy loving Civnat LARPer who doesn't actually want to win, and Grapers follow him blindly. But yeah, I'm the insane one. LOL seems legit. It's kind of gotten to the point where it's like people would talk like this, just like, you guys got to go find an institution or something. It's so insane that it's like, that's why a lot of us, like, that's why me and Zeb are getting a bit more vocal. It's just like, I'm sorry, like, I couldn't see it literally the more opposite of that. This, I just, like, okay. Like, okay, I guess we'll be, you can go and vote for, whoever you want to, right? And I don't know. The whole concept of, like, it goes back to the freaking out on immigration, right? It's like, no, immigration's not a dead issue, da 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 da, and all these things, and it's like, with who? You and what army? That's like you and what army? What group of people are going to be coming out? And it's like, I'm not going to rehash all this over and over and over again, doing it day in and day out, or like just some magical force of white men just appear and we take our country back. It's like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not going to lie to my audience. I'm not going to lie to myself. We're going to be objective and honest about this. Like, we know for a fact that there's nowhere to go. You need a huge cultural shift if you want to enact anything close to mass deportations, especially to the tune of what we need them to be. So, and then a lot of these things is just like an inability to like recognize like the pragmatic reality. I talked at length about this a little bit in the Discord the other day too, which is like, there's like, for whatever reason, it's like a lot of people, I don't know if Zeb thinks this, and I won't put words in his mouth, but I feel like a lot of people who think similar to Zeb have like this kind of concept in their mind where that every guy really would just like start dropping the hard R, and they would get up and start, they would just get up and start macheting down all these foreigners and the only thing is they just don't, it's just that they're too afraid because they think they might be in the minority. But really, if everybody just wakes up, all white people want to do this. It's like, I think that's insane. I think that's literally insane. I think that group of people don't understand how much of a minority that they are. I think that if your idea is that you're going to slap on a swastika onto an armband and you think you're going to win an election, you're fucking retarded. And it's part of the reason why it's making it so impossible to win anything at all. It's this whole idea of like, we have all these ideas. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter at all what your political ideas or your ideology is if you can't get people to vote for it. It doesn't matter how correct you are. You can be the most correct person on planet Earth, on God's green earth of all that's holy and good that he's made. And it won't matter if you can't get people to vote for you in the system that allows you to get power. You get power in this country by winning elections. And so if you're unwilling to actually contend with the realities of what surrounds an election, like optics, which is a huge part of it, then like, I don't know what to tell people anymore. But then they just get mad, and it's like they just want to start shooting people. It's like, that's insane. That is literally insane. And I'm not going to violate my Christian principles because you're angry that enough people don't agree with you. It's like, then what actually makes you different from the left then, who want to just go kill people because they can't win in the free marketplace of ideas? So they think that the only solution is actually, well, we'll just kill everyone who disagrees with us. What is wrong with you? The whole point of like why America First is so like has so much fangs on it. It's not that there's no humiliation fetish. There's no like, oh, like the Groypers just want to get yelled at. This happens so often because so many people come in and with dick swinging around, thinking that they have ideas that no one's ever heard of before. And I don't know where it comes from. I really don't. But it's just like, I'm not going to throw the whole, it goes back to, again, if you need to win an election in this country, and again, if there's no political solution, then hold to that principle. If there's no political solution, then it doesn't matter what anybody says inside of the political solution, who are trying for a political solution. If it doesn't matter, then they can just go on to do whatever. But I think that there are political solutions. I don't think that there is a political solution like TM trademark. I think things are fluid. Things change with over time. I don't think you can ever really have anything that's permanent. I mean, we're only human for that matter. I mean, the only one that can make things permanent is God, and none of us are God. None of us are Jesus. But if you can't grasp the concept that black people vote too, that women vote too, and half of the white men have already been brainwashed and cucked, what are we doing? You know that they are. So this idea that you can just immediately like castigate them, treat them in certain ways, speak out in certain ways, call for all of this, and then be mad that like you can't get any votes or any actual kind of movement or push along. I don't know what to tell you. You know, differences in schools of thought. A lot of people have no faith at all in a political solution. You know, they think it's completely over. That's the black pill, and I refuse it. I'm not going to take the black pill. I'm not going to give up by any means. I think we have actually know there's very real problems that we could actually work towards that haven't been worked towards at all. And one of them, again, is like what Nick talks about, the elite human capital. Where's the dissident right billionaire? Where's even a conglomerate of dissident right, millionaires? You don't even need to be a multimillionaire, but where's the conglomerate of these like super wealthy and rich dissident right individuals who would be willing to throw money around and invest? And perhaps there are, but perhaps they're unwilling to even halfway throw their money into something that they think is going to fail. Like someone trying a GLR approach, I'm just going to have a smug, and I love GLR, but he's remembered and looked at with this like a smug face, like smoking the cigar. I mean, they used that against him, and he probably thought like it was cool. This is kind of his personality, but they used that against him. And then everything that you look up of this guy, it's like, oh, look at this, the average person, not me. Then the average person goes and they're like, look at this smug Nazi. You have people, I talked about this like a long time ago, but there's videos right now you can find on YouTube. There's like a 9-minute documentary I saw talking about GLR, and it's on YouTube. You can find it right now. And they even said in the video, they're like, man, it's a shame he couldn't have been killed sooner. And they pushed that, and that's a monetized video, and that's the acceptable opinion. That's that's the social reality of where we are. Like, sure, like online on the X side of space, it's like a lot of people have been, red pilled. But I don't think that it stretches overall all of the concepts, all of the ideas. Not a stand-in for that. Yes, my boss. How can you call it a motion? How can you call it a movement when you have no motion? It's true. And I think that is a debate that should be had as well too. It's like, what makes a leader? Who is the leader? And I think that's a huge role. I mean, this is part of why I think you see that just so many people just angry all the time. Like Devin Stack, I saw again earlier today. Like the only reason it's tiring, man. I get really tired. And you think like, and again, who's we? Like, I'm not going to join with somebody who's not Christian, who doesn't put Christ first. You can go fuck yourself. I want nothing to do with that at all. And the moment that Christ falls away from slot number 1, get the fuck away from me. I mean that wholeheartedly. That's why I'm like, I'm not going to mess with any of these other people. I don't want a part of it at all. I will not put race over God. Get away from me. And I'm just like, I've said this a bajillion times, and I guess I got to say it even more vicious the next time. So the next time somebody comes to me with that bullshit, maybe they'll get the message. I don't believe in that. But to some of these people, their idea, like, well, we're going to retake the West by saying white first. It's like, look around you. Our cities are taken over by Indians and Somalians. And what fucking planet are you going to be able to push that message and get even some half percentage of the vote? Because not only will the majority of all the Somalians and the Indians and the foreigners and nons be like, no way, you got already half of the white people who are going to be saying no way. I guess this is like that's the hardest concept to grasp in 2026. It was hard to grasp in 2025. It was hard to grasp in 2024. And I imagine it'll be hard to grasp in 2027. And yeah, I mean, Nick's explained everything a bajillion times. It's almost kind of tiring to have to halfway explain all this stuff either. But people want to be bitter, and they're already set in what they believe. You know, they already have their assumptions, presumptions, and so a lot of the time the arguing is really for nothing. It's not going to really change anybody's mind one way or the other. But maybe somebody in the audience who's not seen one way or the other, perhaps they are persuaded one way or the other. But that is the way she goes, right? But with that, that's probably gonna be the end of the stream for me today. Just another cozy crash out. Didn't do much preparation at all today. I kind of like being a bit more chill, anyways. And that's basically all I really had today. I do enjoy doing the. I do enjoy doing the. Yeah, I saw some. It's funny. I do enjoy doing the chill stuff though. Let me reference a couple of these. JC Emler says, Alice, would you be okay with people coming from Catholic Christian countries? I still believe deportation should happen though. Here's question, it's looking that way. I mean that's like that's a false dichotomy of what I would say, right? Which is like if I say this nation should put Christians first, does not automatically open the lever. It's like, okay, well then now we're just gonna accept anybody who's a Christian. It's like, no. The border can stay closed. We're a Christian country. Like they're not mutually exclusive ideals. That's the lie being sold to a lot of people, which is that no matter what you get, more people have to come in. It's like, no, that's actually not a reality. Like, why do people keep settling on that? And then some people like the Wilsons settle on like that's Trump's the only reason why the immigration shut down. Like that's retarded too. It's like just put the border wall up, enforce the law. I don't understand. Uncle House says, imagine taking time to create an account only to get banned again. I can only imagine who that was. That's funny. And I think that's kind of what people try to, I will say this, I think that's like what people try to actually falsely inject in that, which is what I saw a little bit from like the Dave Riley blow up, not about Nick, but this happened a little bit before then, where I believe that you have, I think it was Dave. Dave was the one who was Christ first, and it was Rebecca and Cameron were like white first. And then you have Rebecca's like, see, I don't really care about America, but like, what about those white people over there in Europe? Like, what the? I don't care about so, like, obviously, like, I don't enjoy it. But what does that have to do with me? What? White people can have different nations. I don't. And so like that to me was just like insane. Like I would not. My loyalty to my race is not so far that it would fall below where I rank and value like my nation and the nation's borders. Just, I think that is insane. But perhaps that's how a lot of these people think. I don't care. I care about America. I care about the nation. And to act like Australians are even, and that's the thing too, like these are all different ethnicities as well. They're doing the whole same thing with like BLM. Like just because they're white skin doesn't mean we're all the same ethnicity either. Like they're Irish Americans. There's the Irish, there's the Aussies, but we're much similar together than we are to like blacks and Indians, sure. But there's still differences there. We're still of different tribes. Aussies are not the same thing as Americans. But they try to inject that. You say you want to be, I'm Christ first. I think race is very, very, very important, but it can't supersede Christianity. I'm sorry. But then they take that as like a signal. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, okay. So you're cool with all the Indians. Who said that? Who said that? My pro positions have nothing to do with what I wouldn't allow into the country. But I think it's their way of trying to like slide in. And you see a little bit of this with like the pagans as well too, like the pagan crowd. But I can't. I would rather deal with the Wignats than the pagans every single day of the week. Every single day of the week, I would have a 10-hour long conversation with the Wignat before I even entertain 30 seconds with the pagan. I can't. They're some of the stupidest people I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, return to Odin. Like, dude, yeah. Yeah, and then you should do what all of the followers of Odin did, which was convert to Christianity. You're on the way. You're on your way there. Yeah, control Pratt. Usually those we was Vikings. Yeah. Right. It's no different. We was Vikings, We was Vakans. We used to put people on the iron lung. We used to jump off rocks and shit. We used to have axes and we used to throw them and stuff. Yeah, the black metal and things like that. I don't like rock music in general, but I know everyone's gonna attack me for that. That is part of my my me being a wigger. But no, I'll go ahead. That's why that's probably a good spot to halt it. And I imagine I saw somebody said that somebody else was streaming too. Other people were streaming as well. They try not to go much longer than 2 hours, anyways. Especially if I didn't prepare anything. It's like I don't really have much content to go off of. But I appreciate it greatly. Always shout out to the sponsor, Ethanol Metallurgy. Bang. I didn't see them in stream, but always shout out to them as well for sponsoring the show, getting some goodies as well as also preparing some materials and stuff too. And perhaps we may even have the gold end passes on the way at some point too. That may be coming. I will figure out the multi-streaming. That may take a few test runs. I don't know what's going to make that work. But I would like to have, stuff on Kick. I've been inspired by the Russellians and by Future Nation and by Tyler Russell and by Ray and by Beardson and a few others. Have been inspired to go stream on Kick as well. And it seems like streaming's the way anyways. I'm just like, I gotta be honest, guys. It's killing me to have been putting all the time into the videos and they don't really go anywhere. So streaming's probably gonna be the future for me. Yeah, I'll still attempt to do videos every so often, but it's just like there's so little return on investment. And what else was I gonna say? Obviously, thank you for all the super chats. Everybody super chatted in. I appreciate it greatly. TTS looks like it's working. We found a way to make it work. So hopefully that'll stay working. If I can make it a little bit better, I will. But I like the TTS and obviously the auto select, the auto show. I appreciate it greatly. And yeah, and thanks everybody for supporting the show. I'll see you guys more than likely tomorrow. But if not tomorrow, there's going to be a point in time where I'm going to take either a day or two break away to take care of some other things that I need to. That's ultimately going to just take me away from my house. So we'll see. But like always, I'll try to put an update in the Discord as well too. I will see you guys next time, more than likely tomorrow. But yeah, check out Focus Trip or Rhetorically Defective. Any of those guys who are streaming. Just not Zeb. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I have another song. I have another sound in here I wanted to play. I have other ones that I haven't used yet. I just keep using the same ones over and over again. It'd be easier if I had an actual soundboard. But everybody have a good rest of your night. Christ is King. As always, seek first the kingdom of God. Do not let it fall behind. Make sure you're actually taking your time to actually do that. For the woman, for any woman over 150 pounds, you're going to get immediately shot from a cannon to Israel. And any woman under 150 pounds, but greater than 100, this is your 90-day notice to lose the weight, or you too will be fired from a cannon and shot across the world to the Middle East. Thanks everybody for being here. I'll catch you guys next time, more than likely tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.
Get up and get out. Get out. Get out.
I have a question for you.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it. You say Christ is Lord.